Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome back to the channel, and we are continuing with the Form 5 First Term Exam Practice 2022 to 2023. Now we did until question 5 in the previous video, and now I'm going to continue with question 6 here. So this is also similar to the previous question 5. You also need to use calculator in the end. So how do we do it? First of all, let's translate the question. There are 216 candidates. So those candidates, it includes females and also the males, right? Good. How about the second line? Let's also translate it. Now the candidates are divided into 12 teams. Oops, so it's not like this. You'll have to see in each team how many candidates. In each team, how many candidates are there? There are 216 in total and there are 12 teams. So you divide it by 12 and you will get the answer as 18. So this F plus M should be 18. F plus M should be 18 instead. So what is F and what is M? Now you're doing everything in each team. So your F and M, you have to let it by let females and males candidates in each team equals to be X and F and M. F and M is easier for your own reference. Now we know in each team there are 18 people, and those people includes females and also the males. Now you can't do anything else, so name it as equation 1. And then next thing, in each team there are 4 more males than females. What does that mean? Which one is more, first of all, females or males? Yep, males. So males are 4 more than the females, but we put unknowns on one side and numbers on the other side. Am I correct? Am I? Of course I am. You can put it this way, or you could put the F on that side. It's also okay. You can put it as M minus F equals to 4. That is also okay. Or this is also okay. It's all up to you. Now that you have 2 equations, how do you click calculator? And whether your calculator is correct or not, we also have to check that. What do I mean by that? When you click in calculator, program 1 or 2, it's up to you in your calculator. You have to check your unknowns order. The first one is females, then here you'll also have to put the females first. Or you could change the order here, M plus F or F plus M, they're same thing, right? Yep. So if you put the females first, here you'll also have to put the females first. So you click calculator, you click program 1, and then what do you get? You will have to put it in this order: 1, 1, 18, -1, 1, and then 4. This way you will have 2 answers. The first answer is for the females and the second answer is for the M, which is 11. Now be very careful. These F and these M's are for each team, but you have to find the total numbers of the male candidates. How will you find that? Do you still remember how many teams are there? Yep. So you had 12 teams in total. So if you want to find the total males, it will be 11 in each team, and we have 12 teams. So which will be 132 people, males. You have to write it something like that. And if in your exam you don't have this line, you will have PP minus 1. PP means presentation mark. Alright, and also have the units in the end. Cool. Let's continue. Question 7. This is about a probability question. Now I know some of you might have learned it before, maybe some of you don't. We will go through it again. So probability means something that you want over the total. Probability is like chances. How was the chances of having the red ball? Now this time you know that the probability of having the red ball is 2/5. So how many red balls were there originally? We had 8. How many balls are there in total? We don't know how many black, how many greens, and how many reds. So these are our total balls, and this makes it the probability that's given. Let's do a little bit of simplification. 5 plus 8, 13. Now how do we do after this? There is a fraction line on both sides. Then this thing can go there and this thing can go there, cross method. Okay. Now if there are bracket, if it's just number, bracket means times, so you can do that in calculator, or if you can do it in heart, that's good. 8 times 5, 40. And here also open the bracket. 2 times m, 2m, 2 times 13, 26. And put all the numbers on one side, unknowns on the other side. Let me put all the things on the lines, because if you write outside the lines, you don't get marks. So 40 minus 26, you can get 14. And that 2 here is multiply with it. If you don't want it, you divide it on the other side. So you found the value of m, which is 7. Cool. Then let's continue. Now next question is pretty easy. Hopefully you won't get that wrong. Now it's in form 5 and it's variation question. You just have to make the equations. Okay, so let's translate it. P is partly. You see the words like partly. What do? You will have to think of K1 plus K2. After putting that K1 plus K2, you have to decide if there's anything with K1 and K2. Now the first part is constant. Constants means there is no unknown. But the second part, this part, varies inversely as Q square. Inversely means over. That means division. So you will over Q square there. Now just write it a little nicely. It will be like this. Cool. That's your answer. You get 2 marks just by that. Let's continue. Then second one. P varies directly as Q and inversely as Q square. What does that mean? P varies directly as Q and inversely as Q square. Okay, that's it. Nothing much. We just have one vary, so you just have one K. Don't put K1 and K2 for this question. Those question, it's either partly, or you will see the wordings like sum of 2 parts. If you don't see these kinds of wording, sum of 2 parts or partly blah blah blah, then you don't put K1, K2. You just have one vary, so you just have one K here. Okay, last one. P partly, you see the word partly, so you think of K1 and K2. The first part is directly as Q, so you also put directly as Q. While the second part is inversely as the square root of Q. So inversely, so that means there is an over, so you put that first. Alright, inversely. Over first, and what? Square root. Square root, this thing is called square root. Okay, that's it. And just write it a little nicely and then do it. Cool. So that's the answer for this one. These 6 marks, hopefully everyone can get it. Now let's continue. This should be the last one for your section A1. The rest is just for your own revision, of course. You can continue doing it or you can choose to not do it. It's all up to you. It will be just very much similar. So here, what are you given? You are given the diameter and also the arc length of a sector. If you are given diameter, your first step that you can think of is finding the radius. Radius is half of the diameter. So if your diameter is 12, radius is divided by 2, which will be 6 cm. Remember to write the units. So now you have the radius 6 and you also have the arc length, which is 12. What is arc? Oops, sorry, which is 8 pi. What is arc? What is length? What is sector? What is a circle, first of all? This thing is a circle. Good. So what do you know about the circle? We know that this thing is called a radius. And then to find the circumference of it. Circumference means the length of the outer lines. We use it 2 pi r. And if you have to find the area, it will be pi r squared. That's for a circle. Now, sector is related to it. But how much? Let's try to figure it out first. Sector means part of the circle. For example, if I cut from here to here, like this to this thing is called sector. So this highlighted part is called a sector. Okay, let's draw it outside. Just for your own reference, it's better to draw it. It's easier to do the questions later on. Okay, now I know it looks a little ugly because I'm drawing just right in front of you guys. So this thing, remember, is still the radius. And do we know the radius of our sector? Yes, we know it's 6. And what is arc? Arc means this thing. Now for the circle, it will be circumference because it's the whole thing. But now we just need part of it. And that thing, we will call it arc. Arc. Okay? But how do we find that? What's the difference between them? Do you know what's the degree of a circle? A circle is 360 degree. Good. Then this is part of it. What part of it? If you don't know, just say it's unknown. We don't know what's the degree here. Then you put a theta there. Sometimes the question will give you, sometimes you have to find on your own. Now you don't know the theta, you will have to find this. Oh, this is given. Then anyways, we can do the arc. Arc is part of the circumference. So arc will be part of the circumference. The circumference is 2 pi r. And this is part of it. Okay, the whole circle is 360 and this is just part of it. Alright, remember it this way. Now 2 pi r. Do we know our arc length? Yes, we know it is 8 pi. Do we know our radius? Yes, we know it's 6. And theta, we don't know, over 360. Now things on the side means they are multiplied and they are on the top. But before we do that part, let's see if anything can be cancelled out. We have pi on both sides, so you can cancel out. Now this 2 here is multiplied. If you go to the other side, it will be divided, which means 4. Okay. Now how will you find the theta like that? This 360 here is divided. So if you move it to the other side, it becomes it will become times, yes. And then 4 times 360 will be, and then this 6 here is multiplied. If you don't want it, you also divide it on the other side. And in the end, you will be able to get your answer as as 240. Yep, good. So you get the answer. So your theta is 340 and that's your part A. Now part B is asking you the area of this sector. The area of a circle is this. So area of the sector is part of it. So it will be from the circle you get part of it. Easy now, right? That's the area. So our radius is 6 and then our theta is, we just found it, is 240 and total is 360 degrees. And just click everything in calculator. You do not need to click pi in calculator because in the end you need the pi. So just click all the numbers here. So 6 squared times 240 divided by 360 and you will be able to get 24 pi. And remember to write the units, cm square. The area is square, perimeter is cm, and volume will be cm cube. Okay, until this one, so that's all for this video. This is section A1. We will also, you can also continue doing section A1. Next few questions is basically repetitive, so if you are finished you can send me on WhatsApp for checking, or if you don't want it, it's also okay. So see you in next video for other parts.